This story is a collection of deeply personal and often disturbing secrets shared by different people. The stories range from childhood trauma and family secrets to deception, infidelity, and even criminal activity. Here is a consistent story based on the subtitles provided. I have a secret that I will take to my grave. When I was 12 years old, my parents didn't react to my name, so they took me to check my hearing. I pretended I couldn't hear the beeps in the hearing aid testing room, and as a result, I wore hearing aids for 2 years. I do not know why I did it. In my freshman year of college, I suffered from a hangover and was wearing loose gym shorts without underwear. I started farting, but instead I started having diarrhea, which spread all over the carpet. My dad took it away and yelled at my dog, and I didn't have the heart to tell him it was an accident. I was working for a shipping company, and a well-known drug dealer came to send a package. I took the package, made it disappear, and found $37,890 in cash inside. I never returned to work and never heard anything about it. A month later, I left Texas with cash in hand. When I was born, my father cheated on my mom with her sister. My aunt was helping my mother with a newborn, and my mother told me about it when she was drunk at a dinner party. Secretly, I think they're both pretty terrible excuses for people. My father, for obvious reasons, and my mother, because it was all against me. In 10th grade, my father made a deal with me. If I get an average of 88% of the points, he will buy me a new laptop. I scored only 85%, so I downloaded an online PDF template for my report card, filled it out and bought a new laptop. After that, I started selling customized fake report cards for $550 apiece. I was rubbing my belly against my pussy, and it was just on my hands. You need to rub your stomach well. When I was 6 years old, a young man of about 10 years old groped and molested me many times. Finally, my mother stepped in, and she was furious. She screamed, grabbed a gun and dragged the man to the exit while he begged for his life. She put him in the car and drove away. I never saw him again. When my brother committed suicide, I went to his house to hang out. I didn't knock because his best friend said his house was my house and my house was his house. I went in, got some food from the kitchen, and thought he might have a girlfriend. I didn't give a damn about him. I was having dinner at his house for 10 minutes when I heard the shots that killed him. If anyone asks, I'll tell them that I found him in this condition. I don't think I can tell anyone that I might have saved his life if I had knocked on the hallway or just left. One day, I made a week-long trip to London, and my mother asked me to bring her a small stone from there. I searched all the way for the perfect stone and finally found it. When I returned, I gave it to her, telling her that I had found it in the castle. My heart was broken when I found out that I had found him in our backyard. My father was a biker, and he died in a motorcycle accident. He had a huge old garage where he spent his time. When my sister and I were cleaning, I found a locked briefcase hidden in the closet. We broke the lock and it was full of women's clothes. I realized that the clothes were not on the woman, but on him. I also found gay porn on his computer. My sister and I swore never to talk about it and deleted all the evidence. I got into a fight at school with one of my best friends, and several other students attacked us with tattoos. I lied to my dad and told him that I never threw a stone, and he said, "Je no, 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 no." My father believed in me and took him to the headmaster, who offered a free ice cream voucher as an apology. In my younger years, I had a neighbor who always left a mess in the garden, which made it look like a landfill. Their children just ran back and forth and terrified the whole neighborhood. I tried to politely settle the matter with them, but the only reaction I got was that I was a racist, and they would say I touched their children if they attacked me, and I would talk to them again. They were great jerks, so I decided to respond kindly, and they anonymously tipped off the cops who were selling drugs. The tip worked, and the cops finally checked it out. All my friends think they saw me lose my virginity on the lawn in front of me on that fateful summer night when I was 13. In fact, we pretended to have sex to piss off my friends. We were both too scared to actually do it. I never fixed them. I once stuck a bottle up my ass to urinate on it. My father is a National Socialist. He goes to meetings regularly. I grew up alone with German folklore and the idea that I am better than others because I am German by birth. I have a lot of Jewish and Slavic friends, and I just tell them that my father died when I was little. When I was 13, I was told that my great-grandparents were moving to Texas to begin their journey to heaven. I was crushed. I took a shoebox and decorated it with their photos and angel wings. I took my favorite GG t-shirt and a Pop favorite button-down t-shirt, printed out my favorite things and put them in a box. They were looking for a shirt and decided they had put it in their pocket. A month later, my dad died, and a week after him, my Gigi died. I was crushed. I've never told anyone except my current boyfriend about the box, and most likely not because I'm selfish. Recently, my sister and I were on vacation together, and one evening we got very drunk. We were on vacation, so we started drinking more. She had a tray of ice cubes in her hand, and at the same time she opened the window, lost concentration, dropped the tray from the 5th floor onto the street and hit the dome of a large house. He raised his head and started shouting in Italian. We just closed the window and kept drinking until we heard this guy coming up to us and screaming that he wanted to rip his head off. I was 18 at the time, and on my first evening away from my parents in a new city for college, I found myself paired with a girl suffering from a combination of severe autism and Down syndrome. After the party, I fainted in bed, and when I woke up, I found myself tied up, and she hit me. I tried to resist and push her away, but she smashed my nose and then strangled me. The next morning I woke up untied, covered in blood, semen, and with a microphone. Completely detached from the scissors. I'm 23 now, I live with my girlfriend, and this issue has apparently been raised once or twice. It's a funny and embarrassing story for most people in general. I can't bring myself to tell her the truth. One night I woke up with a pain in my heart. My mother was in the hospital at the time, and I had a crazy urge to call them and check on her, but I couldn't think of an excuse, so I decided not to do it. And I fell asleep. At 5 a.m., I got a call to check on her and she had no pulse. I just think there was something that could destroy me when I thought about it. I went to my cousin, who was 15 years old at the time, violating my grandparents' ban. It was terrible, and I will never forget what I saw. I was about 8 years old at the time, so I really didn't know what to do. By the time passed and I figured out what to do, I don't think anyone takes my word for it any more than they did at 5 years old. I was born to the husband of my mother's cousin. I remember my mom bathing his daughter and me together that evening. I was too scared to sit in the water, because it hurts a lot. My daughter told me, "Don't worry, it will stop hurting you when you come in." I didn't tell anyone because I didn't want to destroy our family, because it's already fragile. It may be too late now, but looking back, I think I said something wrong because his children were really spoiled for the rest of their lives. In the 5th grade, I was cheated on my exams. My buddy and I were the only people this school year who answered this particular question correctly, but I copied it. The worst part was that even though I was the best in the class, he was considered an idiot, so the teacher convinced him that he was cheating on me, and eventually he was interrupted. In short, my parents would kill me if I failed the test, and even worse, if I was interrupted, I would admit that I was the one who cheated. When I was 8 years old, my mother killed my father with a shotgun blast to the face. What was left of his head bled out on my knee. Blood has a smell, and if there is enough of it, it will stink. It was a self-defense situation, so she ran away. The next day she sent me to school, and from then on I pretended to be a balanced person. No, 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 no. After my parents divorced, I went to a psychologist about abuse, and I was never abused. I was placed in a regular room with all the people who were waiting for their brother. I was able to go to a special ward with all the abused children, because my father claimed to have abused me. It was terrible. I had no right to be in that room with all those people. They were all very upset about what their parents had done to them, and I just let myself play Yu-Gi-Oh! When we were kids, my cousin and I used to play doctor when we were 6 or 7 years old. We talked about this a few years ago. When we were 25, we became very close, and over the past few years we have had some incredible sexual intercourse. She recently got married, and we have since ended our relationship. We are both normal, successful and benefit our citizens. You'll never know. I hope no one finds out, but I miss her and our level of intimacy. My uncle tragically passed away last year. We had never been married and had no children, so we treated his 10 nieces and nephews so as not to make mistakes. I also found out that he was probably gay, and I don't think he was open with my family, or at least with most of us, but no one would have a problem with that. It's hard to admit that my grandmother wants to set up her youngest son with all the women. You know, she is persistent, which means that everything is fine, sometimes a little forgetful, but she is already over 80. Anyway, after his death, my father and I started searching for a file for a book that he supposedly wrote about our family. We wanted to finish the book and publish it on his behalf. My father couldn't find the file on his hard drive, so I deleted it. Dad is not the best computer scientist. I found a picture of him on a dating site, a picture in the mirror without a shirt, a picture of a guy. I assumed he was communicating with emo. He could have done it better. You are the best uncle and you deserve only the best. I also looked at his history when I was browsing bookmarks in his browser to access his email and accounts. If I delete it anyway, I'll forget. It's going to happen without me. My wife and I have been going through difficult times. I just returned from Afghanistan and we played Russian roulette .357 Magnum 3 rounds. I lost. I'm divorced now and I live in a church. I broke into my daughter's house. The kindergarten was open. Then she took a small high chair. The first person I ever pretended to be with was a miracle from my rather strange parents. I am an open lesbian, but a few weeks ago I had sexual intercourse with my friend. He's gay. We were both drunk, curious, and never socialized with the opposite sex. After I slept with my then-girlfriend, she got up to take a shower. I have no idea how I managed to keep my composure while talking to someone in the cornet bar. But, my God, I had a stony face. I immediately realized that she was terrible, and that if she found out, it would be terrible and shameful, and I couldn't let that happen. I came out of the bathroom and thought to myself, okay, she's been downstairs for a while, and of course, with her back bare. So damn it, I immediately went into the bedroom and pulled back the bedspread, and of course there was a big fucking slip mark on the beautiful white sheet. Well, post interesting footage of what you're doing now. Get out of bed and explain later. I pull the sheets off the bed and find another pair of matching trousers underneath, with another funny wipe mark. At this point, I begin to admire my skill, her hair, and resent the fact that maybe there's shit on that damn mattress too. Anxiously, I take off the sheet and thank the gods of fornication that it did not get dirty. Rest assured, I won't have to throw her mattress on the front lawn and build a fire. I immediately threw the sheet into the washing machine and immediately started washing. She gets out of the shower and asks about the unmade bed and the running washing machine. She had a little spotting recently, and she thought that must have been the case. It didn't bother me at all, and I knew she couldn't help herself, but it really was, so I knew that if a little bit of my shitty blood embarrassed her, then the tip of a big fucking dick on her sheet would destroy her. Anyway, she got upset and embarrassed, started talking about how she deserved me, and I wouldn't want to sleep with her anymore. But on the whole, we were doing well. So far, I have never told a single living soul that this was the first and hopefully the last time I literally freaked out over someone's shit. You have been visited by a superland shark. So that he doesn't eat you, don't comment today. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I post new videos every day. In the meantime, watch another video or not. Anyway, have a nice day, you're wonderful people.